Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we have the RockyMounts MonoRail 2-bike platform rack, and we'll take a look at how it fits our 2020 Infiniti QX50. The monorail is really popular because of its versatility and also how you can get the premium features and specs at not as premium as a price as some other racks, which is great because it keeps things affordable but still practical. There are some downsides to it too, like how you can't get a ramp added to this rack, but in the case of the Infiniti QX50, since the ground clearance is so low, you probably don't need a ramp. So we'll talk about features like that. The first thing will be the tilt away though. So we have a bright blue handle here. You're going to want to pull that handle and then let the bike rack drop to a tilt. This allows you to open up the hatch of your vehicle and look at all that space between the door, our pedals, and our handlebars. With that up, we can now grab our waters, our helmets, our backpacks, switch out our shoes, all without having to take our bikes off. So if you need to grab something super quick, you can do so and then get back out onto the road super quick as well. When lifting up, I do recommend holding the rack by the frame and then waiting for it to click before you're ready to drive. So what types of bikes can you carry with this rack? Well, you do have a 60-pound per bike weight capacity. But also notice I have a carbon fiber frame mountain bike on this rack, and that's fine because we have a front wheel mount. This secures your bike by the front wheel, and then you also have a rear wheel strap. So when you want to take the bike off, you press this lever, lift up on the strap, and I like to tuck it into itself so it doesn't get caught up in the spokes. Then I come over to the front, I hold onto the bike as I press the button, lift up, push out, and now we are ready to go for a bike ride. The types of bike tires this can carry, if you look over at the cradles, you'll see different grooves. And those grooves are there for your thin road bike tires, your wider mountain bike tires, and even your fat bike tires. Now, if you do have fat bikes, while there is space on the cradles for them, you do need to use the strap adapter included with your rack for those fat bikes so that the strap can fit all around. And also, this can tilt back and forth for those different wheelbases with a maximum wheelbase of 48 inches. We're going to fold this down and fold that front hook down so everything's a bit more compact and neat. The monorail is available in different bike quantities. So I have the 2-bike version with a 2-inch shank. You can actually add that on for a longer rack for more bikes, or you could get the 3-bike all on its own. Now with the 2-bike though, you measure from the bumper to the end of the rack. I have it at 30 inches if you include this. And that's going to be a measurement to remember when you back into your garage or try to park into a tight spot. Now with the hitch on the QX50 being lowered to the ground, measuring for ground clearance, bottom of the rack to the ground, is 15.5 inches. Compare that to where the shank is, and that's 9 inches. So that's something to remember when you go up steep inclines like driveways or hills. You want accessories or bike racks like this that give you a little extra height. But with this car, it's not that high up, so those 60-pound bikes don't have to be lifted that high either. So it is a good pairing. Now I'm going to pull that lever I pulled earlier, but this time I'm going to lift up against the vehicle. Take some quick measurements here. This pivots back and forth, so we'll see it as the closest point, but it still has a whole inch between it, so I'm not worried about it getting any closer than that. Next is the length now added. So bumper to the end of the rack is 11 inches. So if you have that small garage and you need to put the bike rack on, you can put it on like this. If you're just driving around town, not taking your bikes out just yet, you'll have it in this position. Also, when you store this on its own in your garage or in your shed, this makes it a lot more compact. But speaking of compact, notice how our taillights are visible, our rear window is visible. We kind of cover our license plate, but our backup camera sits right above the front wheel hook. So some things to remember here is try to have the front wheel hook arm as far out as you can get it. When you go into reverse, you will see the bike rack in your view, but you'll also be able to see if there's any vehicles or people behind you. But if that limited visibility is a big issue for you, just go ahead and drive around with it in the down position. All in all, makes for a solid, sturdy, versatile bike rack. Anything I would compare this to would be something like the QX Sherpa, which has less weight capacity. If you want an upgrade, you may want to check out the QX NV, which is very similar, but has smoother movement and has included cable lock in the tray, versus this where the cable lock is separate. But all in all, I like how it works with the QX50, especially with that low ground clearance. This means you can carry around your heavy electric bikes without lifting them up too high. This was a look at the RockyMounts MonoRail 2-bike platform rack on the 2020 Infiniti QX50. Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or a pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Now lastly, we're going over some full speed bumps, and we can see here the up and down action, and this will just be like driving in and out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.